received by the American.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's 6:40 minutes p.m. and I hope you're having a good time. I using these sunglasses to make videos because this right here, because I tried to use the camera earlier, but the camera became corrupted, so I chose to use the sunglasses as I drive and I film. I think this will be much more better. So today is on Tuesday, May 12, 2026. I thought to speak really loud. I'm sorry, I realized that my voice is lagging when I'm driving and filming. But you know, I'm driving to Maryland and I'm going for Bible study. I haven't gone for a long time. So what I'm driving, I have about 22 minutes driving. I'm going to share about what I've been doing this week. So the last time I made this video was last week. Actually, it was Sunday when I was going to the monastery, the music on Sunday. Yesterday was Monday, today's Tuesday. Yesterday on Monday, I attended Brookings Institute, and I was attending the foreign policy. It was at 4 p.m. at the Brookings Institute. If you don't know, I know people don't know Brookings Institute, those who don't live in DC. Brookings Institute is a think tank based in DC that does all this policy research and recommendations. Why not? They accuse it for being left wing, but it says it is a non-partisan or bipartisan, so it's not like politically one over the other side. Now, yesterday's conference policy briefing was the Senator Tom from North Carolina, who came to give some of his remarks on the upcoming meeting between Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, and the U.S. President Donald Trump. This is very important because since last year, Donald Trump has consistently passed tariffs that hurts the Chinese government. He has also started a war in Iran, which has also devastated Chinese economy. So the next meeting is going to be very, very intense between Trump and between Trump as well as Xi Jinping. One of the questions that when I went to this meeting, when I went to this conference at Brookings Institute, I was actually late. I was about 10-15 minutes behind, but I was listening on the audio on my headphones on as I was walking to the room. One of the things that Senator Tom mentioned was that Donald Trump knows that he's going to be leaving next. He won't be back in his next election, so he's going to be leaving forever in 2028. And Senator Tom Senator Tom is a Republican. He's been in the government for so long in North Carolina. I believe he's retiring as much as I can remember. I'm not too sure. But he mentioned that Trump is going to be leaving, and also Trump has also mentioned many times in his media coverage that he said that he's going to be. He doesn't want to, but it sounds like he's nominating Michael Rubio and J.D. Vance to be the next presidential candidate. So at least we know that Trump won't be running for his third term. He won't be trying to rigid or change the constitution. So we know that that's a good thing. Honestly, if he does it, that'll be great. I would hate to see him messing up the constitution and trying to do sort of like bad things and causing the chaos. Because if he does run, people will vote for him. He has a huge cult following him, cult or people who like die hard, who will vote for him. And but I think he knows better. Now, from what Senator says was that the Trump, because he knows that he's going to be leaving, he won't come back. He's going to be negotiating with China, so that the next administration, which is going to be Republican, it's going to be the Democrats. Like we already know that the next administration is going to be the Democrats. There's no doubt about it. Unless something happens, but at this point it's extremely rare, or very rare to see the next leader being a Republican. So the Senator Tom said that the next Trump is going to be negotiating to ensure that the next leader can take over this international trade and national relationship with China. So that was something that was discussed yesterday with this Senate and another lady from New Hampshire, I believe. She's a member of Congress. So it's fascinating, right? It's fascinating. Then they touched on human rights violations by the Chinese government, the labor laws, and one of the attendees asked a question: and she is a former USAID staff member. She asked Senator Tom, how would Donald Trump try to enforce China to follow the human rights, be a better leader if Trump himself has fired the federal workers, reduced the staff members, violated some of the international laws, including tariffs, deporting migrants, crimes high in terms of shootings, whether it's from the law enforcement, and then she mentioned things like, whatever we see right now that's going on within the government and the U.S. citizens. Senator Tom said that, we are not far from reaching the world that China is. U.S. still has a huge leverage, still has, a leading edge, still maintains freedom. He gave an example of what happened in Minnesota, where the Congress and the Senate were able to kick out one of the IC agent leader, the DHS, Homeland Security leader, and they were able to appoint a new one, right? Appoint a new person. So he said that it goes to show that the United States still maintains the balance of power, and unlike China, that wouldn't be possible. So I think he had a point there, but that's not an excuse to say that the fact that the government has done pretty bad things across to China's ways of doing things. So he touched on AI, because I was in the AI conference a week before. This was last week. So he touched on how China is sort of catching up with the AI influences and technology, but it's not. My mind is so fast. Damn. He touched on the AI influences and how this is going to affect the United States China at first was a copycat of the US technology, but now seems like the country is doing better. They are coming up with their own ideas, their own innovations, which is good. They are catching up, and the US needs to do more. That was his recommendations. Another thing that they touched on was that United States under Donald Trump, they funded a lot of research programs. Is this kid running in the car, the bus, or someone catch the bus? One of the things that they pointed out was that Donald Trump defunded almost all the research programs. Different universities were defunded, and China stepped in. There has been research that shows that China is now attracting American young mastermind, the researchers, the AI developers, and so when the United States stepped back, China stepped in to attract these young folks. So this is what is a lot of Congress, because they might lose talent anytime soon if US keeps on neglecting these people. So that was the concern among these guys in the House, and hopefully they will work on it. And also they emphasize that the Trump administration should focus on ensuring that these talents are given the opportunity to stay rather than leaving the country and go to China. Because there's two issues here. If these talents leave, they leave with all the knowledges, right? And this could cause national security, could cause issues like U.S. losing its own competitiveness in the market. So that was one of the discussions that I got. I don't know if I have notes here, but I have some notes I can put up on my phone. So this is like so Trump approached to Xi on Taiwan. Senator Tom said that he wants to see a meaningful relationship between China and the United States, and they want to see the U.S. opening up. He wants to see the U.S. opening up the market to China, and he wants to see China opening up the market to the U.S. Regardless of the China and Taiwan's issues. But he doesn't want China to overstep its own, whatever it's been doing, including funding the war in Ukraine, in Russia, right? China has been consistently seen giving support to Russia to continue the war in Iran in Ukraine. They don't necessarily say they are giving out weapons. They will say things like, so according to the investigation, according to this Tom and the lady who was giving a speech, I don't know her name, they say that when China gives weapons to Russia, they don't say they're giving weapons. They say they're giving out things like dishwashing or things like dishwashing or kitchen, something like that. So they try to hide what they are doing. They're trying to hide that they're supporting Russia. But the investigation reveals that China is actually giving weapons to Russia and many other supports. So that's what Senator Tom mentioned. Then he touched on also China supporting Iran as well in the current war and even the previous war. And he asked China to stop. So again, he doesn't seem to be a good foreign policy expert from what I've seen, from what I heard. He's kind of pretty weak on those things. But other things that he mentioned. Then he wants to see U.S. and China having good military relationships, good manufacturing relationships, many other things. Let me check another note that I took. The lady said that there is a slow bipartisan in the semiconductor markets concerning about allowing advanced chips to go to China. Neither is left and right understand the direction and seminary. So there's a debate whether should Taiwan allow sell its own chips to the China. Taiwan being the biggest ally to the United States, it supplies chips to the U.S. And the U.S. puts the limits on how much they can sell to China. So this said that it's not widely popular in the Senate and in the Congress because these guys don't understand the implications of technology and transfer of knowledge, spillovers, effects, and all things. So in her speech, she mentioned that she would like to see the Senate, the House, taking this very seriously. My other note was Tom said that export control, China's influence on Russia versus Ukraine war, force multiplier, and hold China accountable. Okay, so he wants to see China being held accountable, especially on what I just mentioned, which is export control. Like I said, China ships a lot of illegal things, not like illegal. You know, they have the right to sell to other countries, whether it's weapons of mass destructions, whether it's many other means. They, however, do not. They don't explicitly state what they are saying because they don't want to face sanctions from the United States, and they don't want to lose the market from the United States either. So because of that, they do the shady businesses, right? That's where Tom recommended to have export control in this. Okay, what's going on here? Where's this guy? Anyway, export control. So that was his remarks. He touched on. So he was asked. So from what I heard from these two individuals who are giving a speech, is that China and the U.S. issues is not a non-partisan or bipartisan issue. It's for all people to consider. It's not a one-party thing. It's a both-party thing that they need to focus on. So that was his main. Why is he stopping exactly? Why are you stopping, bro? What's going on with this guy? So that's. I hope I speak so loud enough so that I can actually hear. Okay, my camera is recording. So let me see the next point here. Administration's policy on migration. So I touched on this, right? When some administration imposed heavy policies on migration, including limiting the national students from coming to the United States, defining what the programs. So technically, this is what I think, right? If U.S. would have limited immigrants from coming to the U.S., especially the national students, at least they could have given more opportunities for young people in the States to go to school. But they didn't. So they not only did they defund the programs for the education systems, they also deported the migrants who are supposed to be giving us knowledge, right? And so that gives U.S. Absolutely no option. So they already say that China is jumping in to attract the brightest students. Well, I just touched on this as well. Senator Tom touched on human rights on China and what role should China play in Iran and the Ukrainian war. Tom said that explicitly China should stop funding this role. The last question was, if U.S. has to cooperate with China to benefit the American people, what would that be? Okay.
I find it harder to believe that that would be an area where the president would give much ground, and for no other reason than I'm reminded of the discussions that we had in Japan, where they're approaching nearly $750 billion in foreign investments in the U.S., primarily in manufacturing, a lot touching this space. And then I think in Seoul, it's to the tune of about $20 billion a year. So these are real numbers that would be dramatically affected by a change of that.
Okay, so this question was, and this is my last question too. This has to do with my own research that I did on the tariffs between Canada and Mexico, but also touches around all the countries: India, US, Africa, Europe, right? This is a question they ask them: if Trump was to cooperate on one thing, I know they're gonna have many things that they're gonna disagree on. Technology, war in Iran and Ukraine, blah blah blah, right? Tariffs, XYZ. But if there is one thing that Trump should agree with Xi Jinping, what would that be? And Senator Tom said that it should be biotech technology. Okay, biotech technology, and I agree with him. U.S. is extremely behind on the biotech, very behind. In fact, it is so behind that they need a lot of help. You see that? And one of the things that I think I'm gonna go this side, right? So they need a lot of help, right? And there has not been a single ways of helping these folks, these people in the pharmacy industry. And China has seen a pretty fast progressive. Even before China developed really fast, China was pretty good when it comes to manufacturing of pharmaceutical products. And he said that he wants to see China and the United States, China and the US collaborating on this biotech products, and he hopes that will be the main thing that they can agree on, both of them, to benefit American people. Okay. So that being said, I think that this was a wonderful discussion, and I hope that you will enjoy this video, and you will enjoy even more. I know when I speak in the glasses, the sound is very, very lower, so it doesn't pick up the voices. I'll not fix that, but try to pump the volume up so you can hear properly. Maybe I'm gonna make a video one time, then I try to speak over, what I'm driving. That could be also a thing. So like turn the volume off, and then try to give a voiceover. I hope that will help as well. But other than that, because I can do that, I can do a voiceover, but I like to drive as I'm commenting, because that's a it's like real life, right? It's like I'm just driving as I speak. I could create a script from Google Chat, but it's not really relevant. That being said, thanks for watching, and I could always take care. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can always check the Brookings Institute and check on the foreign policy and see China and the US foreign policy briefing, which happened on Monday, and then from there you can actually rewatch this speech is out there, it's posted, and it's also on YouTube as well. So that being said, thanks for watching. Like always, bye bye, ciao ciao, adios, c'est possible. Take care.